Hey guys, it's Karina with theScore Esports, and today we have here Kikis with me from G2 Esports, and congratulations for this win against Vitality. That was pretty few surprising picks right there. I mean, Cabochard took Nasus in the top lane, and we also saw Azir in the mid lane. They're a bit of off-meta picks, and many people were surprised. How did your team feel about that? Was it surprising or not at all?
It was a bit surprising, but we more or less expected something when we prepared the draft, like some responses, because like logically Nasus might be a good pick against Rammus, but thing is Rammus is so strong in teamfights compared to Nasus that even if he gets like for let's say 50 CS lead, he's gonna stack his Q, like it doesn't really matter. Nasus is still gonna be not so useful in the teamfights versus right team comp, which we had like out of CC and Peel.
Well, usually you are considered to be a person to have some like cheesy or unexpected picks. This time we saw like Rammus pretty standard. Why did you go for it, or it was just like the best possible matchup for you? And again, how was it? How did it feel playing against that Nasus of Cabochard? Did he give you some trouble or not really?
I mean, I blind picked Rammus because it's a really strong pick now. Like he's a tank, and even though like there's a few bad matchups possible, in the end it doesn't really matter. Even if you're a bit behind, like Rammus will go on top. He's just gonna go into team fights really strong, really tanky, and he actually has a lot of base damage. And plus with like Sunfire Turmoil, he can like one shots alone AD carry and stuff. And about the Nasus, like we didn't get to lane versus each other too much because it was lane swap, and then after lane swap we did few mistakes and he got like CS advantage and 1 kill, but it didn't really matter. Like I was just going to the lane, out pushing the minions, and like we didn't really get to face each other. But it's not really a matchup you can like abuse someone or bully, just farm.
Well, we also saw in that game a lot of prolonged like team fights, and both teams didn't manage to close the game for a while. What do you think was the reason, or is it just about that you're kind of even opponents?
Yeah, we can say that we are like kind of even opponents because we are both really good teams and it's hard to play each other. But in this game, they had a setup that was pretty hard to like fight against because we were always looking for engage, but they had this engage with Azir. They had two tanks. They had Janna and the Kalista ulti for Janna if Janna gets caught. And then at one point, they like Kalista got QSS. Azir had cleanse. So me with Ramos was pretty hard to like go in, taunt someone because they would just run away. So it was like pretty long, like us trying to catch them and trying to get on top.
I also know that G2 were quite successful, as people speak, in scrims and also scrimming against international teams. Is it true? And do you think that it helped to prepare for like matchup against Vitality?
I mean, this week actually has probably been the worst scrim week for us. Like this week because before IM, like it was still pretty good, but then we had like a few days break, and then when we came back, we played few good games, and then like we lost most of the games, but we picked it up back like at the end of the scrims that we played, and like. Usually we are really good in scrims. Like this week wasn't like that good, but scrims don't matter as much as people think because there's been cases where teams like lost every scrim and did really good in LCS, and then there's teams like CLG in the past that like won every scrim and then did pretty bad in LCS. So it just depends if you have efficient practice and what can you actually play in LCS.
Well, can you tell me a little bit about what kind of week you had? Because I know that you were yourself at IEM. Maybe you also picked up some, I don't know, tips or interesting picks from the teams that you saw playing there.
I wasn't really at IEM to like pick up like tips or stuff. I was just having fun with friends, but I didn't even get to watch a lot of the IM games. Like I watched a few from audience and that's it. So like the only thing, like we scrimmed a bit teams from other regions, like international teams, and that's pretty much it.
Can you just say for the curious fans which teams did you scrim?
I mean, it probably wouldn't be a big deal, but I just prefer to not say.
Okay, right now G2 are very likely to be top two. What do you think about, like, could you keep up with that? And going into playoffs, are you already like have this mentality getting ready for best of 5, which is very different from playing like best of 1, best of 2?
We didn't like players in our team. I think actually didn't play much of best of fives. I'm probably the person that played the most of them. So I don't think it's gonna be a problem like preparing for best of 5, especially for like excellent coach Youngback. And wait, what was the question?
Are you, yeah, basically, are you already getting morally ready for those best of 5? Because it's also like kind of training.
I mean, like we either scrim three games, 1 hour break, 3 games, or we scrim 5 games, which is kind of like best of 5 if it goes to 5 games. So I think we are mentally prepared, and I think we are pretty good at adapting, like especially with draft between the games, even though we didn't really have to do it yet. I think we're gonna like do fine at that, so I wouldn't be too worried, and I'm looking forward to playing playoffs because playoffs is what matters, and having like if we manage to get the top 2, it's gonna be pretty good because we are already gonna be in the semifinals.
Well, yeah, that was the thing. Do you actually think that you're gonna get to this best top 2?
I think so, yes. Like this match against Vitality was really crucial to it because we are one game ahead of them now, and we're gonna have tiebreaker if we have the same score. So it just depends, like who of us like screws up a bit versus other like worse teams, let's say. But I think they have a bit tougher schedule, so we have that going for us.
Yeah, well, a little bit of upper hand. Well, good luck with that. We're going to see how it's going for you guys. Thank you guys for watching, and you can check up some more videos at the theScore Esports website.